All right, now we're going to go over this icon. This icon is for feelings. These feelings are what characters may have and experienced in our story. Feelings happen all the time in the story. So characters have feelings about things that get the story started. How would the character feel if something scary got the story started?
Afraid.
Right? Yeah, afraid or frightened. How would the character feel if something funny got the story started?
Happy and silly.
Yeah, exactly. And how would the character feel if a problem got the story started?
Probably mad.
Definitely upset, sad, frustrated. Good storytellers say how characters feel about things that happen in the story. Characters in stories always have feelings about the things that happen. So, let's see. How might a character feel if all of a sudden they saw a spaceship landing?
Shocked.
Shocked, yeah, or maybe curious or scared. How might a character feel if all of a sudden they saw a pig dancing?
Uh, Probably surprised.
Definitely. I would be surprised too. How might a character feel if all of a sudden they saw a monster storming through town?
Scared and afraid.
Definitely. I would be very surprised and terrified. All right. Now, let's see. We're going to look at a story and we're going to see if we can find out how characters have felt about seeing a bear in this story. So this is Camping Trouble. So there were two dogs named Bob and Max. These are our main characters. Bob and Max were walking in a redwood forest during the day. They were going to a campsite. Then all of a sudden, Bob and Max saw a bear take off. Oh, all of a sudden, Bob and Max saw a bear named Grizzly. They were afraid. Here, you can tell that they're super afraid. And that they're afraid. The characters Bob and Max were afraid because they thought the bear might hurt them. Okay. Now, what is this icon called?
Feelings.
Yeah, exactly. And can you tell me what kind of feelings characters can have when a story takes off and it's scary, funny, a problem?
Almost everything like afraid, happy, surprised.
Definitely. And how many feelings can a character have?
A lot.
Definitely. As many, so many. And then can you give me an example of feelings characters can have?
Happy or sad.
Yeah, exactly. All right, great job. Now we're going to move on to a different lesson. We're going to do our plan now. Now, this is our plan icon. Pause really. All right, now we're going to go over our next icon. This is an icon or symbol for the plan that characters may have in our story. The characters were having a boring day before the takeoff. Then something happened. The characters felt an emotion, and now they have to decide what to do about the takeoff. Good storytellers say that characters are planning or thinking before they do things in the story. So they use words such as wanted and decided. You can listen for those words. All characters can have plans. Their characters usually make plans before they take action. So, can you think of plans that characters might take if they lost their homework?
And they can decide to ask for help.
Yeah, they can. Or they may plan to look for it, right? That's a great idea. Can you think of plans that characters might take if they got locked out of the house?
They can decide to call someone to let them in.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Or they may decide to climb in a window or look for the key. They plan to look for the key. Can you think of some plans that characters might take if they saw a spaceship land?
You plan to call 911.
Yeah, definitely plan to call 911, or they plan to run away, decide to hide, or decide to see what happens. Now we're gonna look back at our grizzly story. So now let's see if we can find out what the characters were thinking about doing when they saw Grizzly the bear. So there are two dogs again. Bob and Max are characters. Bob and Max were walking in the redwood forest during the day. They were going on a camp out. Then, all of a sudden, Bob and Max saw a bear named Grizzly. They were afraid, so they decided to run. That was their plan, to run away. All right. So now to go over it again. What is this icon called?
Plan.
Yeah, great job. And can you tell me what kinds of plans characters can make?
They can plan to call for help or plan to run away.
Yeah, exactly. They can plan to hide, laugh, look for food. There's so many different things. All right, now we're going to talk about landing. This is an icon for the landings in our story. So the landings are things that happen because of the actions the characters take. Each landing is connected to a takeoff. We have one landing for each time the story takes off. Characters take action because of the takeoff. So, can you think of landings to these actions? So, if a boy is looking for his homework, what is his action to do?
To try to find it.
Yep. And what about a girl calls 911 for help?
The police can come.
Mhm. And then can you think of landings to these actions? What if mom drops an egg on the floor?
It breaks.
Yep, it breaks. And what if a girl goes to meet her friend at the school bus stop?
They get to school on time.
Yep, I hope they make it on time. All right, now we're gonna look back at that story again. Let's see if we can find out how the story landed. So, there were two dogs named Bob and Max. Bob and Max were walking in the redwood forest during the day. They were going to a camp out. Then all of a sudden, Bob and Max saw a bear named Grizzly. They were afraid, so they decided to run. That was their plan. Right here. This is what they did. They ran away. They took action and ran away. They ran away and hid in the leaves of a tree. Grizzly sniffed around, but he didn't see them. But uh-oh, the bear fell asleep at the bottom of the tree, so they couldn't get down. That is a complication. Because Grizzly fell asleep at the bottom of the tree, they couldn't get down. The dogs wanted to get away, but they were stuck in the tree. They waited a while until it was safe, and then they snuck down from the tree to get away. Remember, the takeoff to the story happened when the dogs saw the bear. They were afraid, so they ran to get away from the bear, and they hid in the leaves of a tree. The bear fell asleep at the bottom of the tree, which is the complication. So they had to sneak down to get away from the bear. And they got away from the bear. So, what is this icon again?
A landing.
Yep, landing. And what does it mean when the story lands?
It's when the person finds what they're looking for or gets what they want.
Exactly. Or even the character saves another character. Great job.